I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that that's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the court. Tune in. We need the support. 1 hour too short. Still listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Cone. You know what's going on. Man, now we're after dark. No LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all 3 speaks. Go.
Let it build. Let the beat build, Combs. And what is up, everybody? Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hour. Head over to MikeandMikeManHour.com and pick yourself up some merchandise. But if you are, watch us on YouTube right now, youtube.com/Man Hour. We got a poll going up there. It should be popping up any second here. The question is, should Dak stay in Dallas? Yes or no? We got an action-packed show for you. We got some shop talk. So if you guys want to talk about anything tonight, drop in the chat here, and we will discuss whatever you want to talk about whatsoever. And the man behind the shop talk is Brandon Combs himself. Brandon, what is going on, man?
Not much, man. What's going on? I'm watching this Thursday night football game. We got the Raiders on top of the Chargers right now, 10-3. So it's some good stuff going on, man. This Thursday night football game looks like it's gonna be just like the Monday night one.
I wouldn't count on that because let's be honest, it is a Raiders and Chargers at the end of the day. So the final score will probably be 10-7. But before we get into any sports talk, last night we did the What Does, and we've heard some feedback saying like that is one of our best segments on the show.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, Michelle's lucky tonight isn't What Does.
Yeah, crop dust is real in all phases of life. My wife crop dusted me at Walmart, so I mean, it's horrible. But Brandon, it is that time of year where we go see Christmas lights and everything and see Santa Claus and drink hot cocoa, and it is acceptable to wear pajamas to work and all that good stuff, right? What is your favorite holiday tradition that you guys do over there?
So to be honest with you, so I've got a few holiday traditions that I like. One is one that I started with my kids a while back, and that is I get them every Christmas. I get them their own personalized ornaments, so whatever they're into that year, whether it's Mickey Mouse, whatever.
Right.
And that way, when they turn 18 or 19, whenever they move out of the house, they've got 18 or 19 of their own ornaments to start their own tree, and kind of just carries on from there, you know, and they can do the same thing with their kids. So that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. I mean, like I never thought about that whatsoever. A kind of a tradition that we started over here in the Buck house, like household is my wife likes to buy us all matching PJs, and we wear them Christmas Eve, and we go to her.
Tried that, man. But she tried it, and then she sent me the. All right, so do you remember the what is that? The Willy Wonka?
Yeah.
So you remember the Grandpa Joe who was in bed, but he couldn't get up until he saw the golden ticket. Then all of a sudden he could walk again
Right.
while his family's laying in poverty, but now he can walk and work. So you remember how he was wearing like that pullover onesie thing, like the little blouse? That's what she wanted to get us for matching pajamas. I told her she was out of her damn mind.
I think you would probably need stepladder to fill it out properly, but I mean, but those are pretty good jammies, man. Like you don't have to worry about taking off the pants to pee. You
just lift up the shirt.
Yeah, but over here, like my dog even got some matching PJs to go along with the fam, and this little shit ran off and chased a cat like tonight. So I was out there looking for him for 15-20 minutes, trying to prep for the show, and he's like, he wants to go chase the neighborhood cat and be a little slut bag, but whatever, man. I love that dog to death, 100%. But let's get into some sports talk here. Obviously, Dak Prescott was lighting it up to start the season per se. What he had over 2,000 yards in 4 games. It was something ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
He was on pace for his 2 set records, in all of NFL. But then he dislocated his ankle, very, very brutal injury. And now we're seeing the after effects of him not signing a long-term deal with the Cowboys. So the NFL offseason is quickly approaching. We're just a few weeks away when 16 teams are no longer playing. So do the Dallas Cowboys move away from Dak Prescott this offseason?
So, quick question, and I don't know this off the top of my head: is he an unrestricted free agent?
So they tried to franchise, or they did franchise tag him this year. So technically, he is still underneath contract with the Cowboys. They can give him a franchise tag, but I'm not for sure quite how that works. But they did franchise tag him.
If he's not an unrestricted free agent, then the answer is yes, they should. Will they is a totally different story, because it seemed to me that the writing was on the wall that Dak was all but done in Dallas. They paid Zeke. They didn't want to pay Dak, and to be honest with you, they allocated that money in the wrong area, because Dak is going to be good for the next 15 years, and Zeke's going to be good for the next 4.
Right.
So should they? Yes. Will they? I don't know. If he's an unrestricted free agent, there's no way he's in Dallas next year, because they're going to have to compete with everybody. There's going to be 32 teams in on Dak Prescott. 31 teams. The Chiefs aren't moving on for Patrick Mahomes.
Not for 9 more years.
Yeah. So I could see him landing in Houston, and Houston moving on from Deshaun Watson. I can see him coming to Chicago. I could see him ending up in Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers ending up in Chicago. And see what I'm doing to Wyatt here. I can see him in a lot.
Everybody's
of
going to Chicago.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of teams in on Dak Prescott, as well they should be, if he's an unrestricted free agent. But if they don't re-sign him, I mean, it's kind of what we come to expect from Dallas lately, hasn't it? I mean, Dallas they seem to be that team that wants to win but doesn't want to spend a whole lot of money.
Well, and they spent a lot of money. They give
they spend it in the wrong places.
They gave $100 million to Amari Cooper. They gave $100 million to Zeke, and they paid some offensive linemen. So I mean, they're definitely spending money.
So in the wrong places, all right.
Well,
I mean, would you have paid Dak, or would you have paid Zeke?
See, then it comes to the question is, since they already paid Amari Cooper, then they needed a running game as as well. And I think in the Dallas Cowboys' head,
who's throwing the ball to Amari Cooper?
Listen, I think the Dallas Cowboys think in the back of their head, hey, we have Amari Cooper. We just drafted CeeDee Lamb. We still have what's his face? If Mike was here, he would know who I'm talking about. Like their third receiver on the team that seems to be always open. And then then you have Zeke. So really, any mobile-ish quarterback that has a strong arm would succeed in Dallas right now. Like, let's be honest. Like any mobile-ish quarterback, Sam Darnold, Nick Foles, Mitchell Trubisky, Danny Dimes. Who else you want? Drew or Josh Rosen. Jameis Winston.
Michael Gallup is the receiver you're thinking of.
Yeah, there you go. But like any quarterback with a mobile-ish, strong, accurate arm is going to succeed in Dallas because of the receiving core that they have, and arguably one of the best running backs that they have as well. Right now,
I don't think that's true, because they're showing you right now with Andy Dalton.
He is not mobile-ish, though. So the reason why I say a mobile-ish quarterback is because that offensive line right now is so battered and bruised. I mean, they had one of the top offensive lines just a couple years ago, and like now they're bottom of the barrel.
So what about Carson Wentz then? You think if Carson Wentz right now, the way Carson Wentz is playing in Philly, he is a mobile quarterback. Absolutely, he is a quarterback that flourishes outside the pocket. Absolutely, Carson Wentz is. That's Carson Wentz's game, which is why I think he's having so many troubles this year, is because they went away from that, and the game plan is for him to stay in the pocket, which has just been atrocious. Fly Eagles fly.
What's up, boy?
Yeah, they're flying all right. Flying right to the bottom of the freaking NFC East. But anyway, I just. Carson Wentz in Dallas. Who else is going to be a free agent this year? I mean, hell, what do you think about? And people other than Chicago fans love him. What about Mitch Trubisky? He's a very mobile quarterback.
Yeah,
Mitch Trubisky is best when he's moving his legs.
See, I could see that, but the problem is that's really not Mike McCarthy's forte of the play calling. Like he wants a pocket quarterback that can scramble if needed.
I think that's the point I'm getting at.
AKA Aaron Rodgers.
There is no way Aaron Rodgers is going back to play with Mike McCarthy.
If the Green Bay Packers do not win the Super Bowl this year, Aaron Rodgers is out.
Do you remember how that ended with Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers? Mike McCarthy has gone from Green Bay because of Aaron Rodgers.
They both have grown from that situation. They have mended that bridge.
Aaron Rodgers does not grow. Aaron Rodgers holds grudges. Aaron Rodgers does not forget, which is why Aaron Rodgers is not going to be a Green Bay Packer next year because they drafted Jordan Love. He's going to go out. He's going to have another unbelievable season, and he is then leaving the Green Bay Packers, and he's going to go. I guarantee you, I'm telling you right now, he is going. No, I don't think he's going to the Bears either, but I guarantee you he ends up either in Detroit or he ends up in Minnesota to play Green Bay twice a year and beat them and Jordan Love twice a year.
Much like what Favre wanted to do toward the end of his career and just play nothing but the purple eater. Yeah,
I think we're going to see a huge quarterback carousel this off season. I really do.
I mean, if you want to stay on the Aaron Rodgers talk here a little bit, either way, if the Packers do not win a Super Bowl this year, I think he has worn out his welcome per se and ready to move on. And
I don't know how.
I mean,
how? This guy. All right, so let me ask you a question.
Okay, let me rephrase what I said. Like, he hasn't worn out his welcome in Green Bay. He is ready to move on from Green Bay because they didn't draft a receiver to help him this year.
Yeah. Oh, they didn't draft anything to help him this year.
They drafted a quarterback to replace him, basically.
It's so bad. It's so bad. And Aaron Rodgers, look, man, as much as I like to dog the guy because he's a Green Bay Packer, the fact of the matter is he's a top 5 quarterback all time. I mean, if you look up the set, there's been 2 seasons that have ended with a quarterback throwing 40 touchdowns and less than 5 interceptions. Both of those seasons were Aaron Rodgers, and he's about to do it again.
And Patrick Mahomes he was on pace until he played Miami. Now he has had 5 interceptions, which is crazy.
Yeah. and Rodgers is sitting at 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So if he throws another one, that's out. But I mean,
which 3 of them came from?
It's insane
from the Buccaneers in one game, I think. So
yeah, and it's insane to think that a team and an organization like the Green Bay Packers, who are all about winning. I mean, they are. Let's just put it out there. Their pedigree, the Green Bay Packers, they are I guess if you had to pick a face of the NFL, it would have been the Green Bay Packers. I mean, with all the Super Bowl wins, Vince Lombardi, the Lombardi Trophy, even it all symbolizes Green Bay. They have not built around Aaron Rodgers since Aaron Rodgers has been there. They had that one Super Bowl, and even that one Super Bowl was just a down year for the AFC. There was no competition. There was nobody that was going to beat them that year. So I don't understand how they continue year after year to fail to build around this man. It just makes no sense. They wasted Aaron Rodgers' career. If he was it with any other organization other than maybe the Jets, he wins multiple titles.
Yeah, so I want to put a pin in this conversation and carry it on after the break. We do have Shop Talk coming up here on the Man Hour, but guys, we do got to take a quick little break, pay the bills a little bit. So we'll be right back here on the Man Hour. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. This is Michael Buckhouse with Brandon Combs. Today is Shop Talk. So you guys want to talk any type of sport, anything you want to talk about, post it in the comments, and we will talk about it. Shop Talk is brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. Head over to thrivefantasy.com. Use promo code MANHOUR up to $50 on your first deposit matched. So, Brandon, before the break, we were talking a little bit about Aaron Rodgers and like where he would go. And I wanted to bring this up is, do you think Aaron Rodgers' success as a player, as like just as an individual, basically hurt his pedigree in the end? Meaning, so like, let's say he wasn't as good as he was, would the Packers have seen that and tried to build around him more, or did they just want to add depth to positions that they already had to looking 5-10 years down the road?
I'll be completely honest with you, man. I don't know the answer to that. I think that Aaron Rodgers is by far, other than Tom Brady, the best quarterback that I've ever watched play. And well, I would say next to Tom Brady and Joe Montana, I would have him third with those guys, and that's above Peyton Manning, yes. Because Aaron Rodgers does things that you don't see him do. And right now, he's got no weapons around him, and he's still doing it. He's got Devontae Adams is his only wide receiver. Before Devontae Adams, it was Jordy Nelson was his only wide receiver.
Driver.
What's that?
Driver.
He had Donald Driver at the end of his career, I believe. Donald Driver played most of his career with Brett Favre. Yeah. But they've never been like, what run game has he ever had? I mean, this year is probably his best run game with Aaron Jones.
Who was the overweight running back that they had for a couple years with that Montgomery, like number 88?
No, that was I know who you're talking. Eddie Lacy.
Yeah.
And he had an all right season one year, and then he just decided, that McDonald's was his favorite diet, and
I do like McDonald's.
Came back in every season after that, and another 40 pounds added to him. So I don't know what Green Bay saw in Aaron Rodgers that said, we're not going to build around you. We're not going to give you the weapons that you need to win. They absolutely, if they build around him correctly, it's Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady every single season in the Super Bowl.
You're right. But so how would you want them to build more around them? Me, like you being a Bears fan, like you obviously see the Packers more than like a lot, just like I do. Like look down and break the game. I mean, they had a couple dominant wide receivers like on that team. They had a good defense as well. Like what? Like did you want them? They
never really had more than one dominant wide receiver. I mean, Jordy Nelson was by himself. Devontae Adams
how many other
himself.
Teams though have more than one dominant receiver?
Oh, lots of them. I mean, you look at the Cowboys, you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you look at the Los Angeles Chargers, you look at...
hang on. Let's break down those teams. The Dallas Cowboys, name their dominant receivers.
Right now you've got CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper.
And I don't think CeeDee Lamb is that dominant receiver, and Amari Cooper is only there for half the time.
But if you're going to do that, you put CeeDee Lamb with Aaron Rodgers as opposed to Andy Dalton. Put CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper with Aaron Rodgers right now. They've each got 1,000 yards receiving.
I don't know.
I no doubt in my mind. I would take that bet every day of the week.
Okay, so then
go to the Chargers. You've got Allen and God, his name's gonna escape me now. They've got a really good number 2 there in San Diego.
The rookie that they just drafted. No,
yeah.
About. Yep.
But
he's also a rookie, so how is he really proven really dominant?
He's also playing with a rookie quarterback who's been really, really good, and he's having a really good season. And then you go over to Tampa Bay with Evans and Godwin.
So Godwin's hurt, and Evans is kind of being like Julio Jones right now. Really can't. I mean, he has good numbers, but he's not finding the end zone. And
Derek Carr went out with a groin injury too. By the way,
I told you the final scores will be 10-7.
That does not look good. Well, Mariota led that last drive that led to the touchdown. So I think that if you give him 2 wide receivers, you give him a tight end worth throwing to, you give him a running back like you have now with Aaron Jones. They do have a good run game. And then build your defense up enough to not have to score 30 points a game, and they haven't done that since Aaron Rodgers has been there. That defense gives up a ton of points.
So let's look at the Packers wide receiver core right now. They have Devontae Adams, arguably one of the top receivers in all of the league, right? And then they have Alan Lazard, really highly I think he is overlooked. He is sneaky good. He reminds me a lot of the Patriots receiver that like nobody knew, and then Tom Brady just made him great. Like Lazard is starting to be that guy, and right there's your one. Right there, that is your 1-2 punch. So like all those teams that you made, they have a 1-2 punch right now. That they have Devontae Adams and Lazard on the roster right now, and let's not forget they still have Devin Funchins there, which he opted out because of COVID, but he is the solid number 2 there. So they actually have 3 really good receivers on the roster right now. They have a great running game in Devontae Adams. The only thing that they're not building around is that defense, and that's because they didn't really.
But they did build around the defense because that's what they drafted in the first
sucks.
round of this past
Let's be honest,
draft.
the defense sucks.
So, it does. And then, but when you're drafting a linebacker and a safety who just have not amounted to anything, CeeDee Lamb was still on the board. Marquise Brown was still on the board. You have guys who are still on the board that should have been taken. Like I don't understand what they're doing when they're drafting all these players that they just shouldn't be drafting, when they should be building an offense around Aaron Rodgers. Everybody knew last year that was the knock on the Green Bay Packers, was they have no offense. And Aaron Rodgers has no weapons, so that's what should have been the key heading into the 2020 draft. And instead, in the 2020 draft, they're drafting guys in the first round that just I don't understand what they were doing. I mean, they in the first round this year they took freaking what's his name, Jordan Love.
Right.
So I just don't understand it. I mean, you've got guys who are available. You've got guys who could help you out, and instead you're going out and you're drafting a quarterback to piss off the quarterback that you currently have.
Let me defend the Packers
sense.
here. Let me defend the Packers here. Yes, I could be a passive Packer fan, like I support my wife and Mike sometimes because he's a Packers fan on every other week. But I digress. But maybe the Packers were satisfied with the receiving core that they had. Man, like you have Adams, Funchins, and Lazard. Those are 3 really good receivers. And then they did draft offensive line to protect Aaron Rodgers' little skinny butt.
But when they drafted Jordan Love, okay,
yes, that was the worst pick of the draft. Yes.
T. Higgins was still available. Michael Pittman was still available. Chenault Jr. from the Jaguars was still available. Like, I mean, Chase Claypool, who's having a great season with the Pittsburgh Steelers, still
Nobody
available.
saw that coming, though.
Like, I don't understand what you were doing drafting Jordan Love.
Well, also, this last year's draft, the 2020 draft class, it was a very, very receiver-heavy draft class. So you could technically wait till 3rd or 4th round and still get a number 1 overall, or like a first-round talent for receiver. But even though they didn't draft any receivers at at all, but that is here nor there. But nonetheless, let's move on from Aaron Rodgers a little bit. Guys, this is Shot Talk Thursday. So if you want to talk about anything, let us know in the chat. But speaking of football here, let's talk a little bit about MVP. Like, we've seen the ups and downs of the season, and right now the front runners for the MVP right now in my eyes is Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. Our man Mike was high on Russell Wilson earlier in the year, saying he is MVP this, he is MVP that. Brandon, right now, week 15 of the NFL season, who is your NFL MVP?
All right, so 1 and 1A right now is Aaron Rodgers and Ben Roethlisberger. For me, MVP is most valuable player. It's the guy who's most valuable to his team. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Ben Roethlisberger was out all season last year, got hurt in week 1, and they went 8-8 without him.
Right.
They are 11-2 with him. If that doesn't say most valuable to your team, and other than drafting Chase Claypool, the only thing that they added back to that team was Ben Roethlisberger. So, yes, Ben Roethlisberger should be in this conversation. Aaron Rodgers is just doing Aaron Rodgers things, and for a guy that a lot of people said, hey, this Jordan Love draft pick is going to go to his head, and he's not going to have a very good season. He's balling out, and he's doing what Aaron Rodgers always does, and he's going to win that division. A lot of people were picking the Minnesota Vikings, and Aaron Rodgers has come out since week 1 and done his thing. Patrick Mahomes, I believe, has more passing yards than God right now. But he also plays on a very, very stacked team, man.
Oh,
that team is so good. No, you can. I look. I get it. You're a Chiefs fan, okay?
No,
but Aaron Rodgers and Ben Roethlisberger, they do not have Tyreek Hill. They do not have Travis Kelce. They do not have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They do not have the same weapons that Patrick Mahomes. And I love Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback, but I think, to me, when I'm thinking of most valuable player, I'm thinking about guys who are doing the same thing that Mahomes is doing with maybe a few less yards, but are still winning, and they're still putting up the numbers, and they're still more valuable to their team right now, to me, than Patrick Mahomes.
See, first things first is you are putting the most valuable player on a like in actual terms, but in reality, it is the best player, it's the best quarterback in the NFL that particular year. Like, let's call a spade, right? But people keep saying Aaron Rodgers is doing Aaron Rodgers things. Like, at what point do you sit back and like, damn, Aaron Rodgers threw for 4,500 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, and then not say, oh, Aaron Rodgers does that every year. Who had a little better, like, I'm tired of that crap. Throw that out the window.
Right.
That's complete garbage.
And Mahomes has more yards, but Rodgers has more touchdowns and less interceptions right now.
Right. Yeah. So I'm telling you that the playoff, to me, the playoff or the MVP race is Rodgers versus Mahomes 100% because of what they're doing on and off on the field. Because let's be flat out honest, the Kansas City Chiefs are not 12-1 if Patrick Mahomes is not the quarterback. Tell me I'm wrong. The Pittsburgh Steelers may not be 11-2, but they're probably 10-3 with the quarterback that's not Ben Roethlisberger.
I can't tell you you're wrong, because the Kansas City Chiefs offense is designed for Patrick Mahomes. I mean, so I can't say that if you put Aaron Rodgers in that system, if they're still. I'd like to think that they are. I mean, I think that Aaron Rodgers, with all those weapons, I think
he would thrive.
I think they'd probably be undefeated. Big Ben is your question mark there, but then again, my argument with Big Ben is, how can you not be the most valuable player to your team if they were 8-8 without you, and now they're 11-2 with you?
Because the first 5 weeks he handed off the ball. They were rushing up and down the field on everybody. Yes, they did turn away from the run week 6 on. Yes, they did string off another 11 win, or another 7 wins in a row. But look who they played, man.
But look at who Kansas City played. If that's the case, then Aaron Rodgers is by far the runaway winner of the MVP then, because Kansas City played just as lackluster opponents as Pittsburgh did.
So let's just do this head to head. Like, let's say Ben Roethlisberger is not in for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. I still think they are probably 10-3 right now.
No, that you saw it last year. They were 8-8.
They were 8-8 because they were down to their third string quarterback. Who the hell is Mason Rudolph, for crying out loud?
That's who the backup is now.
Yeah, that's the backup now.
When Big Ben went out, Mason Rudolph came in.
Like, at the time, he was third string quarterback.
Oh my God! But even who was their backup last year before Mason Rudolph came in?
I don't know, but he got hurt
Exactly.
The only reason why we don't know his name is it's because one, he got cut, right, and he got hurt, and two, the only reason why we know Mason Rudolph is because he tore off Myles Garrett's helmet and hit him with it, right? That's the only reason why we know who Mason Rudolph is.
Buck, I get your love for Patrick Mahomes. I get your love for the Kansas City Chiefs. I understand that, but to sit there and say, look at who they played. They've got the same amount of wins versus sub 500 teams as the Kansas City Chiefs do.
But I'm telling you, they would not if Patrick Mahomes was not playing quarterback for them.
If you did, they'd probably be at least 10-3, just like you're saying about the Pittsburgh Steelers. That team is really that team is better without Patrick Mahomes than the Steelers are without Ben Roethlisberger.
See, and the whole dynamic of the team changes without Patrick Mahomes in there. The defense isn't much of a bend and break defense. Like the defense has to step and actually stop people and not freaking suck. And Tyreek Hill isn't running all these 80 yards down the field. Travis Kelce isn't getting double team, and Patrick Mahomes putting the ball right there on the dot.
If they've got the 1 seed wrapped up in Week 16, and the backup comes in to play for the Kansas City Chiefs because they're resting Patrick Mahomes in Week 16 and 17, and they win both of those games, does that change your opinion about Patrick Mahomes for the MVP?
It does not. It does not, because
what you just said. You just said that Aaron Rodgers, or that they're not the same team without Patrick Mahomes, and if they go out and they win those final 2 games,
because for one, the whole game plan will change, right? To adjust to Chad Henne, you are going to see a very, very turn the ball off and hand it to Clyde Edwards O'Hara. You're going to hit it to Le'Veon Bell on a swing.
And I get that. I mean, you're going to game plan to try to win with who you've got in there. But what I'm saying is, you said that Patrick Mahomes right now is the leader because of without him in there, they're not the same team. But if they go out Week 16, Week 17 and win with Chad Henne, doesn't that show you that they've got the weapons that they could still sustain a 3 or 4 game stretch without him?
No, because the score would probably be 10-7 with a defensive touchdown.
We sit here week in and week out and we talk about Taysom Hill and what he's doing in New Orleans and with Drew Brees being gone. Okay, so if the Kansas City Chiefs went through this stretch of 4 or 5 games without Patrick Mahomes, do you think that they would have the same record right now?
Depending
or do
on,
you think they would have lost more games than what the Saints have?
Depending on the stretch of games, because the Chiefs had a really
same
easy
stretch. So 2 Falcons, a Carolina, and whoever they played last week.
Okay, so let's say they are division games. I think they drop the division games and they win the out of conference games or the out of division games.
Okay, so then Drew Brees or Drew Brees should be the MVP then.
Why? Because the Saints are winning without him?
Well, because without him, they're not putting up the same numbers that they were with him.
True. I don't
know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, I definitely see what you're saying.
That's what puts Mahomes at the bottom for me of those 3 between Rodgers, Roethlisberger, and Mahomes. I'm going Rodgers, Roethlisberger, Mahomes for MVP, not for quarterbacks, because I think Patrick Mahomes is probably the best out of the 3. Even though I do love Aaron Rodgers, I think for MVP, when I'm voting and when I'm thinking of MVP,
you're thinking the most valuable. Yeah,
those 2 are a better option for me.
Yeah, and sadly, the word MVP does actually not mean most valuable player. It usually is the best player in the NFL that season. Let's just break it down the way it is. But guys, this is the Man Hour. We're going to take a quick little break. On the other side of the Man Hour, Combs is going to take charge. We're talking a little UFC fight
Dak
night.
Prescott's my MVP.
Dak Prescott. All right, guys, we'll be right back on that note. Man Hour, we'll be back. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. It's time for some UFC fight talk. Brandon Combs, take it away, big guy.
Yes, sir. UFC Fight Night coming up this Saturday. UFC Vegas 16, as they're calling it. Look, man, I love these fight nights, and we've got some really good fights coming up, and it's going to be a fun one to watch. ESPN Plus is where you can see it this weekend. I want to go through a couple fights before we go through our picks, and we'll start here in the prelims, and we will go with the main event of the prelim, which is Anthony Pettis versus Alex Morano. You tell me why Anthony Pettis is gonna win.
So I was doing some research and I was digging, and I didn't have to dig too far to tell you why Pettis was going to win this matchup on Saturday night. For one, this guy is battle tested, 23-10. What is that? That's 33 fights in the UFC. He is a fight veteran. He knows tricks that your coach probably doesn't even know. Just like at this point, he is going to put you in a position where he wants you and going to dominate you left and right. He also has a 52% takedown percentage. The other guy doesn't like to be taken down at all. So look for this fight to go to the ground, and Pettis is going to ground and pound him all night long. Also, look at his past fights. Pettis went toe-to-toe with Nate Diaz. The great Nate Diaz went toe-to-toe. Yes, he did lose that fight, but anybody that can go toe-to-toe with Diaz, I want him in my corner every night of the week. Also, he strikes hard and he strikes fast. Morano likes to drop his hands, play from his hips, trying to hit you at different angles. Once he drops his guard, Pettis is going to pop you in the jaw really, really fast and really, really hard. That's why he's going to win this fight.
See, I think Morano has the edge here. Morano's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy. And if this fight does go to the ground, like you said, is going to, that puts Anthony Pettis actually in a disadvantage, because Morano, with his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, it has the ability to submit you, has the ability to ground and pound and get you into positions that you normally aren't comfortable in with your normal striking ability. Pettis wants to stand there and fight. He wants to throw blows with you, and Morano is not that guy. Morano is the guy that will try to take you to the ground. Granted, he does have a TKO in one of his last 4 decisions, but most of his decisions have gone to unanimous decision. He gets you to the ground. He wrestles you. He typically fights what most people will call a boring style of fight, but I actually like when it goes to the ground. I like watching the chess match. It's probably the big reason why I'm such a big baseball guy is because I like strategy. I like to see how you handle being taken to the ground and the different things you could do on the ground. So that's how I think Morano could win this fight. So let's look at some of the.
Hang on 1 second. If he does take him to the ground, that is where Pettis' quick striking, fierce ability is going to come into play. He can hit you so fast from any angle that Morano will not have his guard up for that at all.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't surprise me to see Pettis win this fight. But Morano does have the ability to take down Pettis. Pettis has been he is a gamer. I mean, he's 23-10 in his MMA career. Morano's no slouch, so he's 18-6 in his MMA career. So right. They've both had a lot of fights. They've both got they're both wet behind the ears. So we'll
crafty
see.
Vets. Yep.
Yeah.
It'll be a damn good prelim fight. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's probably going to be the best prelim fight of the night. You got Roberson and Lungiambula, which will probably be a good one too. But
yeah,
let's talk about the women's fight in the main card here. Taylor Santos, who we talked about in the last fight night, but she didn't get to fight because of her opponent ended up with COVID-19. She's gonna go ahead and take on Jillian Robertson here. So Buck, why don't you go ahead and tell me why Santos is going to win this fight?
Well, I don't. I want to tell you why Robertson is going to win this fight, because Robertson is going to win this fight. Okay. And with that being said, like I said, Robertson has a 50% takedown ability, and Santos, I think she's been taken down like shit. She has only tried to be taken down 8 times in her fight career and only been taken down once. So that defense, is a little high, but it's also skewed. But 50% takedown ability and 55% effective strike of theirs. So versus 46 to Santos. So her striking ability and her takedown ability right there puts her over the edge right off the bat. Also coming off back-to-back wins as well. And she wants to fight on her feet. Santos, I don't think she is great on her feet. She wants to be on her back, fighting from the ground in that chest mass that you like to say. But if this fight stays on the feet, Robertson is going to win because she has better striking ability and the will to win.
Oh my God, Buck. We've got to sit down and we've got to watch more UFC together, buddy. Taylor Santos, I'm telling you right now, if Robertson wants to stand with Santos, you should feel free. Because I'll tell you one thing that I would never try to do, and that's stand with Santos. She is a beast. She is a striker. That is her game. And she's 16-1. She is a Brazilian monster. This girl is something else. She is fun to watch. And at the 125-pound weight, I think she could go and fight in the men's weight class and do very well. So I would not use that strategy if I was Robertson. I would try to take this to the ground. Santos usually doesn't like going to the ground, which is why her takedown defense is so good. So I think that Santos, if she stops Robertson from taking her down and she can get on top of her, she's going to end another one in knockout, which she is 16-1, and 10 of those wins are by knockout. So strike with Santos if you want to, but if you ask me, that is not a good game plan for Jillian Robertson.
Do you think this fight is better than the main card?
If this could have been the main event.
This fight to me was very intriguing. Just when we were prepping for the show, I was watching the highlights of them both, and this looks like it's like this could be the fight of the night, easily fight of the night.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I'm excited that it starts later. I'll get to watch some college football. I'll get to watch the 2 championship games that I want to watch, and then be able to tune into UFC and not have to worry about the Green Bay Packers game.
Go Tigers!
I really don't care about. So the next one I want to talk about is Aldo versus Vera. This is going to be another very good fight. Vera is very good. Aldo is just a powerhouse and in the division, and he's that guy. When you say the name Jose Aldo, he's that guy that everybody knows his name. So why don't you go ahead and tell me why Aldo is going to win this fight?
So Aldo is going to win this fight because I think this is going to be his last fight in the UFC. So he definitely wants to end on top, end on that high note, because if he does lose this fight, he is going to lose. Like he is going to keep coming back, losing more fights, losing more fights, and he doesn't want to tarnish his legacy like that. So he is going to come out very hungry, very hot gloved per se, looking to swing for the fence often. So also his whole career is all about storylines. When he first came into the UFC, he did stub his toe a little bit. He lost a couple close fights that he probably should have won, but then he got hot and he was all praise, and then he went back down and down again. He like he got hurt. Now he's coming back up, and why not end on top? Also, he is mad. He is just one pissed off individual, and anybody that is pissed off and like in a fighting atmosphere, look out, because that person comes in focused. They come in ready for like a brawl, and you've seen it. He can get popped in the jaw, and he's just going to keep coming back for more, and he's just a great fighter. Let's just be honest.
He is. But Vera is a very good fighter in his own. 16-6-1 in his career. 6 of those 16 wins are by knockout. 8 of them are by submission. 2 of them are by decision. In the UFC, he is 4-1. And he had that unanimous decision couple fights ago with Song Yadong, and which is a funny name, and I just love saying that guy's name. But it was one of those unanimous decisions that everybody felt like the fight should have went to Vera. And you know, the old adage, don't let it get to the judges, because you never know what they're going to decide. And it got to the judges, and they ruled against him. So he could easily be 5-0 in the UFC. He's coming off that knockout of Sean O'Malley in UFC 252. It was the Miocic Overeem 3, where, I mean, it was a very impressive knockout of O'Malley. And so I think he can ride that high. He is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy. Aldo is a striker. But if he gets this to the ground, Aldo could be in trouble. So that's how Marlon Vera could win this fight.
I would be surprised if Aldo knocks him out in the first round.
I think he's going to have to. To be honest with you, the longer this fight goes, the more it favors Vera.
Right.
So let's talk about the main event. The main event is Thompson and Jeff Neal. So why don't you go ahead and tell me why Thompson is going to win this one?
Well, I can tell you why Thompson is going to win this one, because he comes at you at so many different angles. He will drop down his hands, and like he will hit you at an 80-degree right hook or like a 180 right. So he's coming at you from all angles. And when you have to defend striking from all angles, that keeps your mind wandering, and then boom, he comes in with a takedown or like a kick, and he wants to get you to the ground. He is powerful and light on his feet as well, and he is angry too. I mean, he came off, I believe it was like his last fight. He came off a loss, which he probably should have won that fight, but nonetheless, I like Thompson because of the different punch angles that he's going to come at you with. And Jeffrey Neal is very technically sound, but he is very basic technically sound. So Thompson is a little out of the box, a little bit unorthodox, and when you're technically sound and you are striking, like again, you're waiting for a punch to come right at you, you are going to fail. That's why Thompson wins this fight.
Well, look, Jeff Neal's 13-2 in his career. 8-1. 8 of those wins are by knockout. 2 of those are by submission. And in the UFC, he's actually 6-0. And 4 of those are by knockout. 1 is by submission, and the other one was by a decision. And Jeff Neal is just a power. This guy will knock you out. He will knock you out with head kicks, he is super impressive with his head kicks. And
that's very true.
He can tap you. And I mean, this guy is probably one of the more well-rounded fighters in the welterweight division. All Neal has to do really is just land a couple of those head kicks, and this one could be over quick. There's not much to say. I mean, this guy is just the real deal. I mean, he's undefeated in UFC. Nobody's really been able to stand with him, and I don't think that this one's going to be any different. So let's go ahead and get to our picks then.
Let's do it.
All right, so let's start with the prelims here. We'll go with the first prelim fight here, which is, give me a second, I just lost it here. The first prelim fight is Giagos versus Carlton Minus. Who you got in this one?
I like Carlton just simply because of his name. To be honest with you, no.
You think he'll do the Carlton dance?
Hopefully not, but he is 10-2 on the on his career. He is coming in as a underdog, and in the prelims, the first fight, I like the underdogs a lot. So that's why I'm taking Carlton.
I'm going with Giagos here with the first round knockout. Look, Giagos' striking is just unbelievable, especially for a lightweight. And Minus is coming off that unanimous decision to Munoz, and actually 4 of his last 6 fights have all gone to unanimous decision, and one of them he lost was he got submitted. So I think Giagos gets the best of him here and knocks him out in the first round. Next fight up, we have Jimmy Flick and where did it go? Lost the whole thing here. Who's Flick's opponent? We have Jimmy Flick versus Cody Durden.
I like Cody in this one. I can't tell you why. I like him in it, just in this fight. I think he will impose his power over Jimmy Flick. Like he's just more powerful, and he's going to strike him harder and more often and end it early.
Yeah, I like Cody in this one too. He's a southpaw, likes to wrestle, very well-rounded fighter in the flyweight division, and I'm going to take Cody in this one as well. Jamie Pickett versus Tafon Nchukwi. I can't even pronounce this guy's name.
Nchukwi, he is a strong man. Teflon guy is. I think he's from Argentina. I think, if I'm not mistaken, but he is a very, very strong. He is 4-0 in the UFC so far. But I'm going to ride with the American. He is an underdog. Give me Jamie in this one. Jamie Pickett.
Yeah, look, I'm going with Nchukwi here. 4-0 in his MMA career. All of them have ended by knockout or TKO.
Yeah.
I don't see any way he's not 5-0 with 5 knockouts. So I'm going with Nchukwi here. Darren Wynn and Antonio Arroyo.
Man, this one's tough because the Brazilians always fight well. For whatever reason, they always fight well. He does have the bigger reach advantage. But I think Antonio Arroyo wins this one. He takes it to the ground in a submission.
Yeah, I've got the same thing. I've got Antonio Arroyo winning this one. Same way, by submission. Imposes his will on Darren Wynn, takes him to the ground, and Wynn he can't compete with him on the ground. Wynn's a striker. Wynn's a guy who wants to stand toe-to-toe with you.
Yeah.
And Arroyo's not going to let him do that. So I'm going Arroyo here as well. Carl Roberson versus Dalka Lungiambula.
I'm taking the southpaw every time. Every time I pick a southpaw, Carl, they always win for me. So I'm picking Carl Roberson in this one because I like southpaws. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, look, man, I really like Lungiambula in this one. I know he had a tough outing in his last fight when he got knocked out by Zabit. But he also knocked out Ngannou. He won a couple decisions, but then had a couple more knockouts. This guy is a powerhouse. I'm going with Lungiambula in this one, and by knockout. That'll be a good one to watch, though, too.
Yep.
We got another female fight here. I mean, I love these female fights. This one's of the 135-pound weight class. We've got Pani Kinzad versus Sierra Eubanks.
So anytime you have a striker versus striker fight, this one is kind of like I want to look at what they've done in the past fights, see who has gone longer in their fights, because conditioning is going to come into play when a striker versus striker. And with that thing, I'm taking Eubanks. I think she has better conditioning, and she'll be able to strike harder and longer.
Yeah, I'm going with Kinzad here. Eubanks is just She's lost 3 of her last 5 fights. All 5 of them have gone to decision. And she seems to gas out after the first round. Every single one of her fights, she seems to gas out quick. So I'm going to go with Pannie Kianzad here, and I think Pannie Kianzad actually finishes her in this fight. So
Like a TKO or like a submission?
Either way, Kianzad's very well-rounded. But like I said, if she can sustain the first round, if Eubanks, that's the only way Eubanks can win this one. If Eubanks can get her in the first round and get her in trouble, then it's Eubanks' fight to win. But I think Kianzad survives that first round, and then in the second round, when Eubanks is gassed and has already blown her load, I think Kianzad gets her to the ground and either submits her or just TKOs her.
Okay.
We talked about this one a little bit earlier. Pettis and Morano.
I try to give Pettis a little bit of leeway, but I don't see him winning this fight. I'm taking Alex Morano. I think Alex Morano takes it to the ground and submits him early.
It's funny because we talked opposite of these about how they're going to win, and I'm actually taking Pettis in this fight. I think Pettis is more well-rounded. I'm going to go with Pettis. We got Marcin Tabera versus Greg Hardy. It's going to be a great fight too, man.
Yeah. First of all, Greg Hardy is a ex-NFL player, so he definitely loves the competition. But I don't know if I'm ready to buy into somebody that hasn't, that UFC is their first love, right? So I am going to be rooting for Greg Hardy just because I want him to seed, but I'm taking Turban in the end.
Yeah, so Greg Hardy's 7-2 in his MMA career. 6 of his 7 wins are by knockout. He is a freaking beast.
He is. He was a defensive lineman, for crying out loud.
Yeah, he is just a beast. I'm going with Greg Hardy in this one. I'm going with my NFL guy, and I think he knocks him out relatively quickly in the first round. Santos and Robertson here, the only female fight of the main card.
I'm taking Santos. She is a scary MFer.
Dude, we talked yesterday in the What Does. I did about Jake Paul, and this is somebody who I would love to see just knock Jake Paul's teeth down his throat, and she could do it too. Taylor Santos is so scary. I'm going Santos all the way. She finishes Jillian Robertson probably in the first round, probably relatively quickly. Might be the best knockout of the night. Taylor Santos wins this one. We got an interesting one here, man. The bantamweight division, we got Marlon Moraes, very good veteran, and just does good things in the octagon. And then we got Rob Font, who has not really been everything that he was supposed to be when he came into the UFC. Had a very tough loss in UFC 226, which was the first Miocic and Cormier fight. But who do you got winning this one? Moraes, Rob Font?
I like Rob Font. I think this whole Vegas fight night is all about storylines, and what better way to end out that storyline with a Rob Font win.
Yeah, see, I like Marlon Moraes in this one. I think Marlon Moraes is a beast. I think he is going to knock out Rob Font. Michael Pereira and Chaos Williams. I love that name, man.
Chaos is a pretty awesome name. I like the striker Michael Pereira. I've watched him for a few years now. Like I've seen a lot of I like his last 5 or 6 years of like highlights, and I really like him. Plus, he spells his name like mine, so it's win-win.
Yeah. Well, Chaos Williams 11-1 in his MMA career. He's 2-0 in the UFC, and he's knocked out both of his opponents. So I'm going with Chaos Williams, man, and Chaos is gonna knock out Pereira. And it's just gonna be fun to watch. God, I love that name. That's a great MMA name.
Yeah.
How can you have, if you could pick out one great name for an MMA fighter, it's got to be Chaos, right?
Rampage is like up there too.
Yeah, Rampage was amazing too. Yeah, that's true. But that's a nickname though. That's not his actual name.
I'm sure Chaos isn't his real name. Come on.
I don't know, man. It's spelled with a K.
It's got to be. Got to be a real name.
It's on the internet. It's got to be real.
Right.
All right. Aldo versus Vera.
I like Aldo. I think he is going to end his career on a high note in this match, and he's going to retire after he wins this match.
Yeah, I like Aldo too. Also, same thing. Retires after this match. Last fight, goes out on top. Main event: Thompson and Jeff Neal. Who you got?
Jeff Neal kick to the head, 30 seconds in. Shortest fight I got like of the night.
100% agree. Probably within the first minute.
Yeah, Jeff Neal's a freaking beast.
Dude, he's a stud.
Yeah. There are 3 guys in the world that I fear now. One of them being my dad, second one being God, and third Jeff Neal. Let's be flat out honest.
Amanda Nunes is the other guy I fear.
Come on, she's cute. She's a cutie.
She's cute, but she's a beast. She is a beast.
Alrighty, guys, that is going to be it for the Man Hour tonight. If you guys enjoyed the show whatsoever, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on YouTube, youtube.com/Man
That should
Hour.
be our next UFC segment, by the way. Which
UFC fighter?
all-time female UFC fighter would you let finish you with a scissor lock?
The girl that had the turkey gobbler. What was her? She was in school. She was a school tea teacher. Who was that? She knocked out what's her face? Ronda.
Ronda Rousey's mine, man.
Oh, it was
Ronda
Holly
Holmes.
Yeah, Holly Holmes. There you go. That's mine.
Ronda Rousey though, man.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's going to be it for the Man Hour as Combs needs to go upstairs and go to the bathroom. Guys, we will see you next week. Or you can find us on Saturday on Big X Sports Radio, 96.1, 9 a.m. East Coast time here in Louisville, Kentucky. Or you can tune into them at bigxsportsradio.com. That's 9 a.m. Saturdays when you guys can find us next. Or you can find us on YouTube all the time, youtube.com/Man Hour. We'll see you guys tomorrow or Saturday.
Go Irish.
They lose by 10.